Hello. On the 11th of June, I got a message from Trustpilot.com telling me that they had taken my review of the Law Society offline, removed it. That review had been up there for 6 years of the Law Society. In December, 2nd of December 2025, the Law Society tried then to have my review of the Law Society removed. The pretext they used in flagging up my review, the reasons they gave were quote unquote harmful and illegal content. This is one of the reasons that Trustpilot give on their flagging up form, and they chose harmful and illegal content. Harmful and illegal. Me telling the truth, harmful and illegal. They obviously wanted my review removed regardless, and they used that as the reason. I believe, and I'm absolutely certain, that they used that as the reason, harmful and illegal content, because they did not want to flag personal information, because Trustpilot has in their guidelines don't use names, personal information. They could have used personal information at that time, but I believe they deliberately did not choose personal information. I believe they chose harmful and illegal content to steer me away from suspecting that it was the solicitor that invited me to a meeting, the solicitor, director owner of Geddy and Sons, Richard, that invited me to a meeting, even though I've never in my life instructed him. He's invited me to a meeting at his office, which he had then in 15 Old Bailey, opposite the Old Bailey. It's just a few bit of desk space they have, because their main office is in northwest England, Cumbria. He invited me to his office and he abused me in his office. And he used that to get a fraudulent grant of probate issued without my name on it, in my so-called British Transport Police brother's name, Stephen, and thinking that would exclude me as an executor. So he invited me to that meeting in the City of London, 15 Old Bailey, in order to manipulate my exclusion as an executor, even though I've never instructed him. I'm nothing to do with him. I believe it's that same solicitor that has motivated the Law Society, instigated the Law Society to get my review removed. but they didn't first use personal information because they didn't want to alert me to the fact that it's Richard Roberts behind it. But I'm not stupid, and I knew it was. Because the harmful and illegal content was rejected by Trustpilot. My content isn't harmful and it's not illegal. You see, that's why they did that. Why would they even do that? But this time, Trustpilot informed me that they have removed it, and they have removed it without even giving me the chance to rectify what they said I had done wrong. Previously, Trustpilot has alerted me that a company has flagged me up my review, seeking to get my review removed. And they've said personal information. And they've given me 3 days to rectify, to remove the personal information, to remove the name. And otherwise the review will be removed. This time, Trustpilot gave me nothing. They gave me not even 3 days. They gave me not even 1 day. They just told me the whole thing has been removed. And when I appealed, I got this idiot, this arsehole response from some so-called specialist. And he came across like a solicitor, so I think he was a solicitor, saying that it's not going to be reinstated, and refusing to give me the opportunity to edit it, refusing to give me that opportunity. Obviously very much in cahoots with the Law Society, which part of what they do is they look for anti-solicitor comment, anti-solicitor websites, what they call anti-solicitor, but really it's people talking about how they've been defrauded and abused by solicitors and telling the truth about solicitors. So the Law Society seeks to hide the truth about solicitors, because the Law Society is the solicitors' gang, the solicitors' club, highly Masonic solicitors' club. So anyway, since I've had Trustpilot remove my review, I'm going to read it here. I'm going to publish it here on my channel and read it here. This is the Trustpilot review of the Law Society that Trustpilot removed. Update 15th of the 4th, 2026. The Law Society recently tried to get my review removed after 6 years. I believe this to be at the prompting of the crooked Cumbrian solicitor owner of Geddy and Sons, who I referred to here. The Law Society is well known for doing this on behalf of solicitors, being the Solicitors Club. This is the review. This is a warning to anyone who may be an executor of a will or even a beneficiary now or in the future. English wills and probate solicitors are a crooked, greedy, even criminal bunch, and have set up a completely fraudulent, crooked method of removing legal named executors of wills through probate application fraud. They do this by using an unnecessary and very dubious probate option known as power reserved, in quotes, that has been deliberately inserted into the process for them to use it in this way. I'm not sure this fraud is possible in many other countries. All the courts and probate registries of England are complicit in this with the probate solicitors, because they actively include this dubious, harmful, unnecessary option on the application form, yet clearly have some sort of pre-arranged agreement with the solicitors, probably through the Law Society, to turn a blind eye and say it's nothing to do with them if a victim of this solicitor's scam reports to them and turns to them for help. So this is fraud with the tacit agreement of the solicitors and the probate registries. I was even told by a witch legal probate solicitor that if I told the probate registry what had been done to me, quote unquote, they wouldn't be too interested. And they weren't. This obviously involves collusion between the Law Society and the courts. This witch legal solicitor was appalling in the way he addressed me, questioning why I was even raising the issue. "Didn't you get any money?" he asked me. I made a complaint about him. Another time I spoke to him, he actually admitted that many probate solicitors use power reserved to sideline executors, and that he had even done so himself. 3 other witch legal solicitors were also useless and very unhelpful. The solicitor who defrauded me of my executorship and abused me terribly is a white Cumbrian named Richard. I am a black Londoner, black African Londoner. Director of Geddy and Sons, Grange-over-Sands, Cumbria. Involved with him are my own so-called brother, Stephen, a police officer in the British Transport Police. His English solicitor sister-in-law, Emily, a family lawyer then with notorious city firm Withers, whom I have never met, yet she secretly interfered with my mother's estate that she had nothing to do with, and was in contact with Richard, discussing power reserved and others in Geddy and Sons, such as Mark, the probate manager. Although the firm is based in Grange-over-Sands, Cumbria, Roberts invited me to a meeting room at 15 Old Bailey, London, and he abused me in that meeting room. He lied to me. He threatened me as soon as he had shook hands with me. He manipulated me and he committed a fraud on me, even forcing me to sign a dodgy, corrupt, false statement that he typed up right there. The fraud these probate solicitors pulled on me also involved perjury on the part of both the firm, Geddy and Sons, and my police brother, since they enabled him to swear a false oath to the Manchester High Court that he had informed me of his intention to apply for probate in his sole name. He did nothing of the kind, even though there were two other executors in the will, myself and our uncle. Emily, his sister-in-law, even helped him sign the oath in her office, knowing it was false. So she knowingly took part in the perjury and fraud. They also never informed me when they received the grant of probate in my brother's name only, and then they used it to carry out estate administration behind my back, making decisions, including selling houses without my consent or signature. When I questioned them on this, they, including Mark Reynolds, refused to answer. Even when I asked for the attendance note of the meeting I was invited to at 15 Old Bailey in London by Richard, where he ambushed, abused, lied to me, and pushed his power-reserved fraud on me, I was told I couldn't have them because I wasn't an executor. This was a blatant lie because I later found out that probate law states that an executor's authority is derived from the will and not from the grant of probate. This Richard made my life a living hell, lying to me that I was not an executor. Lying to me, implying that the grant of probate without my name on it meant I had been removed as an executor. And even when I went to other solicitors for help, they suggested the same thing. That I had been removed as an executor because a grant of probate had been issued without my name on it. And they said in order to reinstate myself as an executor actor, I had to get my own grant of probate. It's rubbish. It's a load of rubbish. It's bullshit. It's rubbish. Even the solicitors that I went to for help not only did not help me, but told me the lie that I was told by this solicitor, Richard of Geddy and Sons, director and owner. This is where the fraud comes from. People need to know that this fraud probate solicitors do behind unsuspecting, vulnerable executors' backs to remove them with the complicity of the probate registries, therefore the courts. If someone doesn't want to act as an executor, they can simply renounce if they haven't yet involved themselves in administration. So why do the courts allow the power reserved option to be misused and manipulated by solicitors, where you step down but don't renounce, so you can still apply for probate at a later date? This solicitor, Richard, told me you can always apply for probate at a later date. He had no intention of me applying for probate at a later date. It's a lie, it's a con, it's a fraud. There's no need to apply for a probate at a later date because by then the estate will have been administered. He took advantage of me. And solicitors regulation rules say you're not supposed to take advantage of an unsuspecting person. It is a con carried out on me, an unsuspecting layman that knew nothing about probate, by Richard, who had 30 years' experience as a solicitor. He took advantage of me, which is against Solicitors Regulation Authority rules. But don't expect the Solicitors Regulation Authority to enforce their rules, which are just for show. Check my Google review of Geddy & Sons. Check nortonpescott.com also. That's the review that Trustpilot has removed. By the way, you can't check my Google review of Geddy & Sons because Google have removed my review of Geddy & Sons after it was up there for years. They've removed it without informing me. They've removed it without notifying me. They've removed it without warning. They've removed it without reason, without any reason. Not only have Google removed that review, they've removed all my reviews. They've removed all my reviews. Check nortonpescott.com also. Norton Pescott is a law firm, wills and probate law firm, that the person that set up that website, nortonpescott.com, told his story of horrific abuse by the solicitors of nortonpescott.com. Horrific abuse. I'm going to do a video, 2 videos about this poor man, but it was because of this poor man, what he wrote on his website, because he fought these solicitors for years and he learned a lot about probate, and the same thing was done to him that was done to me. A lot more was done to him, but one of the things that were done to him is that a solicitor from Norton Pescott had a grant of probate issued from the court, from the Probate Registry, in the name of that solicitor only, not in the name of the one who was on the will as an executor, which is this man. This man, his name is Thomas Hampson. And then he started telling Thomas Hampson, you're not an executor, you're not on the grant of probate, you're not an executor in law. He lied, because this man, as he learned probate law, he found out that an executor's authority is derived from the will and not from the grant of probate. This is completely at odds to what these wills and probate solicitors told him and told me. Is what they tell. It's completely opposite. They're all lying. They're liars.